A lot of people may not be familiar with the Househam sprayers, but Mike Toth from Glenmac in Pakenham has sold about 20 units into the region, and he says they're all still in operation. They seem to be really specialising in the vegetable market. David Sutherland's the rep for Househam sprayers, and he's been able to give us a bit of an insight into what makes these machines really unique and perhaps stand out from the other machines in the market.
All our machines are specifically built to suit each individual farm. I hardly know of two machines that are built the same. On this particular machine, the boom is unique to this farm as it folds vertically rather than the conventional gull-wing method. Each side can be individually folded to allow for very, very easy turnaround in narrow headlands, so you can get right into the corners. The boom is recirculating spray line where the nozzle's actually shut on and off at the nozzle rather than via the main pump. And we also on this machine have an air sleeve, which means that whatever they're spraying can get right in and underneath, especially with brassicas and small crops where they've got to get underneath as well as over the top. The suspension is by air ride or self-leveling airbags, where it's load compensating. It allows for a very, very comfortable ride, not only for the operator, but also for the boom, taking all the shock out from bumps and whatever have you. We use a forward control cab, which means the operator can see, especially in this type of very, very high irrigated areas where there can be some wet holes that they're going to drop into, the operators can see just what's going to happen in front of him rather than having to look over the top of the motor. Every machine we make is custom built or bespoke built to whatever specification that the farmer wants.
It's running a 170 horsepower Caterpillar engine and is all hydrostatic drive, and each wheel has its own individual hydrostatic motor and brakes as well. On the back is a 3,000 litre chemical tank and a 300 litre freshwater tank. They seem to have made a really niche market in these vegetable growing areas, and that's probably because they can custom build the machine to the requirements of the individual farms. G'day Jim, you've come all the way across from England and you're the export director. What can you tell us about the machine?
Yeah, it's interesting, the machines in Australia are used year-round, whereas in Europe it's very more seasonal, so the machines have to work hard, have to do a job. We've had a new machine delivered to a customer, which is his second machine. The first one was delivered 18 months ago and has done 3,500 hours of work, which in Europe that's nearly 5 years' work. So yeah. I'm happy to say it's working very well.
And of course, in this environment where you have to put the spray exactly where you want it and you can't afford any drift, the windsock provides that accuracy. It creates a little bit of turbulence and means that you get the chemical right in underneath the plant as well. Jimmy Haar operates the machine on this property, and he tells me it's really easy to operate. Did it take long to work out how to use this one?
No, it just took a day, just read the manual, just calibrated all the settings, and that's it. Yeah, started spraying.
And that's the thing, once you're in the machine and got it all calibrated, it's an easy machine to operate?
It is, very easy.
I've just spent about 2 hours just having a drive of this with Jim, and there's probably two things that are a standout. One, it's really smooth environment to work in. The suspension is excellent, but it's really easy to operate, and I think that's probably the main feature of a machine like this. I would be quite comfortable jumping in and going spraying now, so long as someone else has put in all the settings to start with. Of course, we've only touched on the machine today, but I'll give you a much more detailed review in New Farm Machinery magazine. And if you want to compare this machine with perhaps other similar ones, go on to the Trade Farm Machinery website where you can compare different makes against each other. And also, if you're in the second-hand market for a tractor or farm implement, we have over 20,000 items on there for sale.